Tonight, Christina Carswell hosts an all-new episode of The Lounge. The following program may contain mature material some viewers may not find suitable. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's The Lounge with Christina Carswell. Tonight, Christina welcomes Alex, also known as Axel, from the channel Swathed, Sarah from the channel Lyra Kylaren, and Sean, a professional QA video game tester. And now, here's your host, Christina Carswell.
Hey guys, it's us again, and we're going to talk about what's happening at E3 this past weekend and what's coming up.
It happened Tuesday through Thursday!
I was away on the weekend, so it's all the weekend to me.
It's still happening!
And then I said, what's coming up? Stop busting my balls.
Technically, it'll be over by the time this is released, so...
Yeah, fair enough. But...
Potentially. We're going to talk about E3 as it's happening. How's that? Because everyone's talking about E3, so why not jump on that bandwagon?
I have been completely oblivious to the fact that E3 is even going on.
A slight disclaimer, though, we are recording this in the middle of E3, so it's E3 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's still tomorrow.
There's still tomorrow.
I want
That's copyrighted music.
The sound will come out tomorrow. Now, if you sing it really stupid, then they're like, oh, whatever, it's a horrible, you can just claim fucking parody laws.
That's fair. Okay, so, Sean, we're going to start with you because you obviously have been watching since it started.
Oh, I've had my eyes glued to the news feeds.
Yes. So, highlight and your worst complaint. So, start out with your highlight and then go with, like, what you're disappointed with.
Oh, well, I kind of have two highlights, mainly just because it's two games that one game that I've been waiting for them to fully flesh out, and another game that was just a happy surprise, and I'm wondering what they're going to do with the series, is, first off, South Park, The Fractured But Whole, aka best title for any game ever, because it's spelled The Fractured But Whole.
I saw that, yeah.
It's like the best wordplay for any title I have. It's because it's like Ratchet and Clank does that. Like they have like butt jokes as their titles, like, you know, Up Your Arsenal, Going Commando, stuff like Crack in Time. Like it's like it's all butt jokes. But literally South Park never pulls punches for anything. So like, no, we're just gonna name it. So when you go to pre-order the game, you have to order The Fractured Butthole. Like, it's like marketing fucking genius. Anyways,
I thought you got like a free copy of The Stick of Truth when you pre-ordered.
You do.
Okay.
That was one of the big. Hey, let me finish my highlights, okay?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I like to order a sad order of fractured buttholes.
You know, and it's like you guys made me laugh. Anyways, no, it's South Park. If you pre-order, one of the big announcements is if you pre-order, you get a free copy of The Stick of Truth. Not that big a deal for me because I already have The Stick of Truth. I bought it the day it came out because I was like, oh, it's a South Park RPG. And then I realized it was made by Obsidian. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, they're fucking video game. Like, I love a lot of Obsidian's games. Like, I loved Fallout New Vegas. I loved Knights of the Old Republic 2. Not a lot of, like, people always compared it to the first one, but it was a different studio working on it, and they still did a really good job of it. And then, you know, they did South Park Stick. I was like, okay, so it's Obsidian. They're good at making RPGs. How are they going to do this? And then they got all the rights to use everything in the South Park series. And Matt and Trey were like, let's just we'll write the story for you.
Mm-hmm.
And do all the voice acting. So it played, like, if you hadn't had a chance to play The Stick of Truth, it's an amazing turn-based RPG that's entirely South Park humor. Like, it literally plays out like a long episode of a show. So when they announced the sequel, which actually they've confirmed that it happens pretty much just the day after the Stick of Truth. Because the whole premise of the Stick of Truth is a bunch of kids playing outside as fantasy, as like Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And this one is they're all superheroes. So it's Coon and Friends, and like Cartman is the Coon, and they have Token as Tupperware, and like it's fucking the dumbest superheroes ever. And the kid that you played in the first one, aka the douchebag, you as the douchebag, basically you create your own superhero, and it plays a lot like watching the gameplay. It plays like a combination of Final Fantasy Tactics with like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance feel, where like certain attacks affect certain parts of the battlefield, but you can move freely now. It's not like Final Fantasy where you're locked into those positions. It plays a lot more open, and it's really good. And it's still Matt and Trey working on the story with the guys. Apparently they're all like best friends with the studio now, and they've like have total creative freedom over it. It's amazing. I'm highly looking forward to that. And the other game that I'm super excited about is Dead Rising 4. I'm a huge fan of the Dead Rising series, and the fact that we're going back to Willamette, which is the mall from the first one. We're going back to Willamette for some unknown reason, but we're back to being Frank West. And, if you don't know, he's covered wars, which makes him really important. But he's Frank fucking West, the zombie slayer. But the trailer that they did was absolutely perfect. I mean, we don't have anything else more to know about the game yet, but for an E3 trailer, it was an amazing trailer and has like got me super excited. Like they gave nods to like in the trailer, he's using his phone, and he'll if I noticed, like watching the trailer a couple times, he has 2006 followers, and he's following 2016 people, which is a joke that the first Dead Rising game came out in 2006. So it's been 10 years, and he scrolls past a tweet that says, I'm home for the holidays. This place hasn't changed much in 10 years. So I was like, oh, well, way to go, Capcom. Like I love when series are that self-aware kind of thing. Like they'll give a nod to their roots, really.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because the very way that the trailer was directed was it made it seem like an episode of like The Walking Dead or something, or just like that guy who's just home for the holidays, and he's taken like at the end he lights a Christmas tree on fire that's covered in zombies, and they're all like attached to the Christmas tree with like Christmas lights. And he like lights it on fire, and then it just cuts back to him smiling really big. Wow. And he's like taking a selfie with the burning tree. And I'm like, oh, way to go, Frank West. Like, you go.
Gotta
I'm super excited about that. Yeah, I know. Downside? I was not really... Question. Well, okay, my downside is more with the event itself than necessarily, like, some stuff that was shown. If I have to go with downside for a game that I don't care about, that is seeing another version of the game, and I'm not buying into the hype, is Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to ask you about that one.
Ubisoft kind of shot themselves in the foot with the first one. I wasn't really won over by it. It was an alright game, but it was kind of like, meh. And, like, so I'm not really hyped for Watch Dogs 2. I feel like it's almost too soon to try another sequel, so, like, I feel like if a company flops on a game, or like kind of stumbles on a game, they should kind of put it on the back burner than pushing another one through. And I feel like that's a lot of the games that are shown at E3, and that's my kind of negative point, is just like, it seems like a lot of the times, like some of the trailers and stuff feel like the game devs went, hey, we're not actually going to finish this game till 2018, but just to stay relevant and build hype for 2 years, we're going to show you a trailer that has nothing to do with it.
Look, pretty.
Look pretty. However, I will bite my tongue and say that the only trailer that has so far done that for me, that has not shown any gameplay and was just kind of like a cinematic trailer, was the trailer for Death Stranding. The game that Kojima is working on, like his own studio, now that he's not working for Konami. Mm-hmm. The one with the naked Norman Reedus.
The one that's got everyone confused.
Yeah. I have no idea what this is, and is it going, like, he's talked about it afterwards, and we know a bit of information, but we really don't know anything about the game so far.
Which game is this? Sorry, I cut out there for a moment.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Okay.
Yeah, the one with naked Norman Reedus.
Okay. This is for Sony.
Yeah, it's
I just
it's a
PS4 and PC. Yeah, PS4 and PC.
Yeah, I'll have to watch.
Oh, they announced this for PC. I didn't hear about that.
I'm on the E3 recap page itself, and it says platforms or PS4 and PC, and it's to be announced when it's going to be released.
Cool. Yeah, like I was really busy yesterday, so I luckily caught the trailers that I wanted to see, and then I didn't really watch a lot of stuff I wasn't interested in. An honorable mention on the good, and this is a game that I'm going to be following till it comes out, is We Happy Few. It's basically like a twisted world like BioShock, where nothing on the surface is what it seems. Mm-hmm. Because it basically takes place in 1960s England, but they lost World War II. So it's like this post-mod-esque Britain in 1964, and there's a drug that everyone has to take called Joy, which just makes everyone blissful and happy. And your character decides to stop taking the drugs and become like what they call a downer. And then like the gameplay that was shown was very like I almost want to say it was very like parkour Mirror's Edge-esque, where you're running more than like fighting a lot. Mm-hmm. And they did show some kind of a bit of combat and a bit of like first person, like what the game would look like, because it's all first person. But I really am a fan of that whole kind of environment, not just like the mod, the 60s British mod kind of look, but also the kind of like dystopian aesthetic of like everything is happy, like those kind of worlds. Like I love the world of BioShock. So for me, We Happy Few. It's also a Montreal studio putting it together. So repping Canadians making such an awesome game.
Yeah, I remember a while back of what they had on a Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's completely different from what they just showed at E3. It was I've been following
really?
I've been following We Happy Few for about a good 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah. And
what they show, like what was available and what was known to the public back then, this cinematic trailer, like it's what they had in the demo, but a heavy coat of pretty on top of it. And I like it because that sort of aesthetic, you need a lot of pretty, or else it's not going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also Prey. Everyone's been talking about Prey recently.
Prey's been interesting. I haven't looked too much into that one. The Last Guardian, I'm super excited for that.
That was announced a couple years ago, wasn't it?
It was announced, but the first like big E3 trailer was this year, and every time they mention it, I was like, "Oh yeah, that game's coming out. I need to get that game." And it's looking this year. I might buy a PS4 just for a lot of the exclusives, because the thing with like a lot of Microsoft games is that I could buy an Xbox One, but I can also get all of these games on Windows. So as a PC gamer, I can get the Stick of Truth and I can get Dead Rising 4 for Windows. So I'm just going to get it on my computer. But games like The Last Guardian, I really, really need to play Uncharted 4 because I've played the rest of the series on the PS3. But I really want this. Like I really need to play this one. Um,
I'm gonna go to Sarah just one quick second.
Sure.
What did you think about the Zelda reveal?
I kind of melted.
You melted.
Yeah.
What do you think about the graphics? It's more cel-shaded than anything else. It's very bright.
I kind of mixed about the graphics because seems like it's kind of a mix between the Toon and Skyward Sword graphics. Because this is going back to they said this is going back to the Twilight timeline. I was kind of hoping that they'd be more like Twilight Princess, but I don't necessarily mind it too, because at least I can still see what's going on. And it does look pretty. It looks like a painting almost, kind of. And it's open world, and apparently people have had issues with that. But the first Zelda game was open world, guys. Come on, it's going back to its roots. I'm excited for this. This is a console.
As much as open world as you possibly could get. Yeah. There are some things that are locked out that you can go to until you progress in the story. But
well, yeah, that's true of any open world game, though.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. Except for the newer one, Grand Theft Auto has always done that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you couldn't go to part of Liberty City before completing a certain quest.
Yeah.
I think part of the thing that might be affecting a lot of people's perception is just what we've come to experience Legend of Zelda as lately, right? Lately, it's always kind of got the sense of a progressive story as opposed to a sandbox, right? You can do a bunch of things on the side, but because it's a single-player game and there's a plot to it, naturally you kind of align it with just saying, no, I'm just following the story. So
stay on the train tracks.
Yeah, exactly. The spirit tracks. But the other thing that kind of sticks out to me here, so I'm looking at this, I'm watching the trailer, seeing him cook up a delicious meal out of whatever the hell he just killed.
Hylian mushrooms.
Yeah. And it's just you look at the huge pile of games that have just come before this of crafting and open world and sandbox.
It kind of feels like it is catching up a bit, catching up to Skyrim and whatnot. I actually, when I first saw the trailer, I'm just this is Elder Scrolls Hyrule.
Yeah. And the thing is when I look at that and I go, well, I'm not really playing those games now.
Yeah.
Because I'm just overly saturated.
So you don't find an interest in it?
No, I don't. I mean, I would get it for the sake of the fact that it's Legend of Zelda, right? But I feel like I probably won't enjoy it as much.
My life is going to be gone as soon as I get this game. My life will be split between it, Final Fantasy XIV, pretty much. I'm just gonna be non-existent to the external world, except for the lounge and YouTube and.
Oh, scratch that! I just found the fucking gameplay video for Dead Rising 4. Oh, this is gonna be a glorious game. I can't wait for this to come out.
What was that?
Oh my god! I
think he just creamed his pants.
Oh.
No, okay, so I'm just scanning through the video because it's a 10-minute video, and while we're recording, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. And he goes from using a crossbow that has fireworks attached to it to a power mecha, what looks like the fucking suit that Isaac wears in Dead Rising, which is funny. And he rips out a parking meter, but the piece of concrete that's still attached to the parking meter, he just uses the parking meter as a sledgehammer. I was like, I need this. And then he has a grenade launcher that shoots Christmas balls that explode. I'm just clicking through this. I'm this is amazing. I'm I need to buy this.
Of course, you actually get the game, and none of that happens.
No, so all of that's going to happen. It's just not going to be as pretty as the well, no, this is gameplay footage, so that's actually going to be available.
So is the video earlier.
I'm not exactly sure what has been named or what is still to be kind of demoed at E3. I think God of War, the new one, has been demoed. The same thing with 343 Studios gone with Halo Wars yet?
Oh, okay.
Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
Because that's Halo Wars 2. Not just Halo Wars. Halo Wars 2. Coming to Xbox One and Windows.
Well, Halo Wars already existed.
Yeah,
like
so this is a
strategy
continuation.
Yeah, that's fine. A lot of people liked Halo Wars. I didn't really mind it.
There's
It
also
wasn't
Sorry?
it wasn't my type of game, but like I could understand why they would make a sequel.
Yeah, so Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR mission is coming. And I
Interesting.
know, yeah, there's a couple VR exclusives.
Yeah, there's the Star Trek one too, Star Trek Bridge Crew. That looks
Yeah,
Farpoint is a VR experience. Resident Evil 7 is purely VR.
Yeah, that
Nothing
means I'm not
else.
gonna touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
VR expensive.
heard apparently they've confirmed that. What is this? I saw it a second ago. Fuck, it's one that.
Wilson's Heart.
Why did
Wilson's Heart's another VR exclusive. Super Hot VR. Killing Floor.
Super.
Yeah. I think Super Hot was made by Canadian guys that went to Algonquin.
Super hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6. That's it.
Used to be like a point and click like browser game. Bethesda VR, that's coming.
No, Super
Thumper.
Hot's that game where you move.
Yeah,
you,
it's like
you stop time when you stop moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle knows the people who made it.
Wait, that was made here in Ottawa?
I'm not sure if it was made here in Ottawa, but he knows some of the people that made it. Like, it was showcased at one of the events that he went to a couple years ago.
That kind of surprises me, but not really. Like the guys who did that Keep Talking and No One Explodes game, they're from Algonquin too, I believe. From here in Ottawa.
Yeah. Keep Talking and No One Explodes was made here.
Yeah. I was rejected for a job by them because I didn't have a working portfolio.
It's
where'd
like
I go?
having a resume.
Yeah. So.
Alright.
There's a lot of exclusive titles that have come out.
Well, yeah, that's like every press conference, every console is going to have their exclusives. Like those are the things that sell their consoles. If they don't have exclusives, they're not going to sell as many consoles. So
Not so much in the past couple generations where other than the games on it, like the thing with the whole console wars is that people just basically found a brand, right? It's Coke and Pepsi. Like other than the random things that, some exclusives might sway people to buy a system.
Like for me in Legend of Zelda and Wii U, I will admit.
But it's also going to be available for the NX whenever that comes out as well.
Yeah, but I'm also going to be picking up Twilight Princess HD because I still haven't picked that up yet.
Yeah, but see, like for me, like the only reason that I would ever personally buy an Xbox One is if I decided to plunk down the money and get Rock Band 4, because I have like 600 songs on my Xbox Live account that just transfer over to the Xbox One. So, but to me, there's no real hardcore exclusives for the Xbox One that I want to get that are pushing me towards it. But I wouldn't say that they drive the sales personally.
Well, no,
Like,
it's not the
a
big
person
drive.
who bought a PS2 is going to buy the PS3, not necessarily generally for also the games, but, like Call of Duty is available on everything. Like you look at the big selling games and they're available like multi-platform.
Yeah,
But
because they would
what I mean is,
alienate themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But those console exclusives just push their numbers a little bit. They're not the driving force behind it, but
Yeah, they give it a
they're the
nudge.
reason to have a console.
Well, like I just said like 5 minutes ago, I'm considering buying a PS4 for the games that are going to be coming to it.
Detroit
that's
Being Human, Horizon Zero Dawn, those are ones that are PS4 exclusive.
I'll be
Yeah,
picking
but like Uncharted 4, like
God of War, Days Gone. So yeah. PS4 seems to have...
Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Neo is pretty good, or Nio.
Also Spider-Man.
however
Spider-Man's
that's
only
pronounced.
going to be for PS2. Or PS4, sorry.
Yeah. The Last
Crash
Guardian. Days Gone. Days Gone looks awesome too.
I don't know what this bound one is, but it's done by Plastic. 3D platformer. That's what it says it is.
Plastic Studios?
Yeah. Well, it just says plastic. That's all. Like usually
Yes,
it would
it's
be
Plastic
yeah.
Studios. What did they do
Yeah.
before that?
I have no clue.
They used to actually
Final Fantasy 15.
It's just,
It looks pretty.
watching this giant boulder crush on the party. Miss. Freaking like 15-kilometer radius blast. Ah, it didn't even face me.
Okay, so we're gonna go with we're gonna wrap this up. Highlight and disappointment. We're gonna go around. We're gonna start with Sarah.
Highlight.
Make it short.
Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Disappointment, none yet, but I'm still waiting for the live letter from the producer for Final Fantasy 14, so we'll see. Probably won't be disappointed by that, but...
Okay, Alex?
I'm going to hold my commentary on it until the games actually come out. I've been burned one too many times by what they show there and what I actually end up getting. So I'm not even phased.
He's just numbed himself to the hype.
Yeah.
Like a Linkin Park song. Sean?
The South Park Fractured Butthole and disappointment, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Okay.
They pushed a lot of stuff. They're like, look at the single player, look at the multiplayer, and I'm just like, it looks exactly like Black Ops 3, except shinier and more chrome, because you need more chrome in the future.
Yeah.
Everything is chrome, according to SpongeBob.
Fair. My excitement and disappointment ends with one game, Mass Effect Andromeda. Mainly because of my love for the previous games. I know we didn't really talk about it all that much, but I am excited and scared at the same time.
Yeah, so am I, actually. I really want to play the game. Terrified.
That's our wrap up for E3 for 2016. There are still more to come, so just click away at the E3 spotlights and highlights, and I'm sure YouTube's going to be blowing up about this. So be sure to follow us on social media at TOONDISE on Facebook and with the hashtag ToonLounge on Twitter. And if you're a fan of TOONDISE, make sure to support us on Patreon at patreon.com/ToonDice. On behalf of Axel, Sean, Sarah, and myself, Christina.
We love you.
And we'll see you next time, right here on the lounge.
High definition Crash Bandicoot!